Human rights should secure a dignified life, not secure the good life. And also the governments of sovereign states bear primary responsibility for the protection of human rights. And human rights protection is not possible without stable states. On 23rd August 1939, the Hitler-Stalin Pact was signed. It was a German-Soviet non-aggression pact, and it paved the way for World War II. Hitler and Stalin agreed not to go to war with each other and to split Poland. Hitler started the invasion of Poland on 1st of September 1939.
Wir können glücklich sein zu wissen, dass diese Zukunft restlos uns gehört.
The Red Army of the Soviet Union invaded Poland from the east 16 days later on 17th of September 1939. Both dictators pursued courses defined by their own political needs.
Вероломное нападение немецких разбойников и навязанная нам война создали угрозу для нашей страны. Отрицать, что наша Красная Армия не раз обращала в паническое бегство хваленные немецкие войска. Если судить не по хвастливым заявлениям немецких пропагандистов, а по действительному положению, Германии нетрудно будет понять, что немецко-фашистские захватчики стоят перед катастрофой.
At the end of World War II, Poland's borders had shifted westwards and Germany became divided into east and west. This happened because the Allies conquered Adolf Hitler and the Nazi terror regime in 1945 and because of decisions taken in conferences in Yalta and in Potsdam. A period of Cold War began between the powers of the Western Bloc as represented by the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and the powers of the Eastern Bloc. Economic challenges in the East were much bigger than in the West after the war. The Russians did not support economic growth. Millions left their homes for a better life in the West, where there was a prosperous economy and better living conditions. But after the Berlin Wall was built in 1961, they risked their lives just to get into the other part of the city of Berlin and to be free. The GDR was a true dictatorship, even if at that time many Western diplomats didn't like to say so. The GDR used Marxist-Leninist terms describing itself as a, quote, dictatorship of the proletariat. The struggle between the East and the West was not about economic, social or cultural rights. It was about the civil rights or personal freedoms.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Freedom came before unity. It is a personal story about the key messages of our freedom revolution. The collapse of East Germany started with rigged local elections in May 1989 and ongoing protests against the government. The peaceful demonstration, which took place on Monday, 9th of October 1989 in Leipzig, is the most important date when you are talking about the collapse of the East German regime. On 6th of November, around 600,000 marchers demonstrated in the pouring rain. Freedom came first. When the Berlin Wall fell on 9th of November 1989, 4 weeks later. Before the wall came down, people had been chanting, "We are the people." Now they are chanted, "We are one people," which meant the demand for German unity. people wanted in the first place was freedom. Freedom of opinion, freedom of travel, of the press, of the arts, of scholarship and research. When the wall came down, that they realized how strong the desire for freedom and change was among ordinary people. The winners of the Cold War were the people living in oppressed countries in the Eastern Bloc. Now too, dictators and authoritarian rulers must be taken seriously. Let me warn you, they are not democrats, but they are often extremely shrewd politicians who use their power with consummate skill. That still holds true, even when there is nothing new about the methods they use. Dictatorships and authoritarian regimes as well survive only because people living in their oppressed societies are afraid to say what they really think and feel. And also today, it will be the ordinary people living under dictatorships or authoritarian regimes who in the long term will emerge the victors in the struggles they are facing for the time being. The only question is how long it will take.